Sometimes I think a survey holds up the process, but.
Let me grab some snacks while I'm down
Susan, you are so adorable. If it's just us, then I'm gonna feel real bad, but again,
there.
this is.
Hey, have people come down if it's not. Yeah,
Well,
no, or take
We
it
can
out.
always take it up.
Yeah, wheel it up.
More for
The
me.
whole table. Yummy snacks.
The whole company's gonna be thrilled. Did Allie read it too, right?
Yeah, Allie read it. She couldn't come because
That's fine.
she had to take her dog out.
That's fine.
But she did read it. We were kind of talking about it. Like
Were you?
every like Monday, we would try to get to like the same point.
That's a good idea. That's
And
see,
then,
that's what I feel like I was missing a buddy.
Okay, so 2 people are watching.
Oh, good.
I bet one's Angie.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
maybe
read it.
Nancy.
She loved it.
Maybe Nancy's still watching.
You
Did she
think?
say she was still
She
watching?
didn't say that. No. You have to talk to the camera.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this way and pull a chair so I can like, if people are chatting, I can share their chats.
Perfect.
Wow.
I'm so happy you're here. I know.
This is insane, right?
I just said it was a small get together.
Susan.
Oh, you mean this is insane? I thought you meant like our turnout.
No, this.
Well,
That, who's supposed to be here?
I mean, there was like 20 people on the
Oh,
meeting
wow.
planner who accepted, so.
Gosh, I didn't know there was gonna be food.
Sorry.
I actually brought,
Oh, good. You bring some snacks.
I brought a salad, but.
Oh, good. Well, help yourself. Get something to eat first.
Did I even respond that I was coming?
I don't know. I don't, doesn't matter.
Did you read the book very long?
Yeah.
She read the book.
Well, I've read it before.
Oh, you had?
What?
I don't think I knew that.
I told you.
I don't know if I knew that though.
Like the 3 books that you were picking in fiction, I read all of
You
them.
had read them all?
Educated, this, and then like that one that's called Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah, you
I
saw
read that
that.
one too.
Yeah.
I still want to read Educated. Isn't that a memoir though?
Yes, it's really good.
I got that for Christmas.
Who's that by, Mary Wall?
It didn't sound that interesting.
Tara Westover or something like
It's,
that.
it's supposed to be really good.
It's good.
You guys are just crazy. Okay, so
I'll have to read it.
it's true.
I'm
Alright,
ready.
have you guys read, or not read, have you guys watched Abducted in Plain Sight?
Yes.
No.
Oh my god,
And it gave me,
I cannot
I
sleep
can't
last
believe
night.
that
It's on
it's
Netflix,
real.
right?
I can't believe it's
You
real.
guys.
like I feel like it's fake, but I know it's not. Yeah, it's on
I need-
Netflix. It's the most
Because
ridiculous
if I
thing
couldn't
you'll
get through
ever
this
see.
book, there's no way
No,
I could ever watch this.
it's not.
It's not, I see when you, the name of it sounds like it's gonna be
But it's
scary.
kind of funny.
It's kind of like.
I laughed a little bit, and I was like, I shouldn't laugh, but
But
the
these
fact
people-
that she's alive, I was like, I feel like I can laugh.
The dad,
The mom, both of the parents.
Can you tell us?
no, you wanna watch it.
You want to watch it because you're gonna watch it and be like, what the heck?
No,
Like,
so my niece who's in college, she's a freshman in college, and my 2 nieces both were like, we were talking about it over the weekend, they had watched it, and they're like, you guys need to watch it, so then my kids watched it like
Oh my
on
gosh,
Sunday
it's
night,
So funny.
and I can't remember why Jamie and I didn't watch it with them, but anyway, so I started watching it last night, or Jamie and I watched it with, and Tristan's kind of sitting with us, he's like, my god, this mom is like, stupid, and then he's like, oh, just wait.
And then you get to the dad, and it's like,
Oh,
that, I literally, my jaw smacked.
How old
I
is
looked
the
over
child?
at Jamie, and
Child?
Jamie's
The
like,
child was like 11.
she started when she was like 12.
Yeah, like she was abducted, and then the fact that she got abducted twice. I was like, how? Does that
Yeah,
happen?
well,
I've
because
heard that before
Second
from
time she's
people.
kind of in
Oh,
on it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
Yeah, the kid was
Taylor
like
said there's
12.
2 people on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is there 2
When
people
she
watching?
was
it?
completely.
Oh my gosh, you can see me eating this.
Can you hear us though?
Yeah, I can listen to you.
Is that
But
Audrey?
you just can't chat.
Oh, she might need to have like a Google account. It's kind of tricky.
Oh, it's something about needing a Google account or something.
Well,
It's something weird.
I was gonna say,
Okay,
this is a
no
bit-
worries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoever
so
comes just gets like a
I
little
don't
snacky.
know how much I participate, but I want to let you guys know
You know.
that you're
Well,
probably
I
gonna
think
be
Susan, I was like, hey, we're
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can
just a
text
few
me
snacks,
questions or
because we have the, you know,
additions.
like, charge
If
to
you have
the
anything to say.
account or whatever.
That sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Alright.
Alright, bye.
We'll take it, like, whatever we don't need, we'll go upstairs. Yes.
I don't even know where she made this appear from. She wasn't working on this in the kitchen.
Was she down here?
Oh, she has a new kitchen down
The
here.
new kitchen down here.
It's actually very nice.
Oh, I didn't know there was a kitchen down.
It's in the old beauty shop.
Yeah.
There's like
Sorry,
a
a
small,
beauty shop?
oh,
Someone
not the
here might
beauty
know.
shop, but
We have a beauty shop? I'm
we
so
called it the
confused.
beauty shop because the floors are tiled like an old like 60s
And well, remember,
beauty shop.
No one wants to see.
Chris wanted to do a, like a barber shop.
Barbershop, you wanted to do a clothing store, okay.
Bowling alley, well, he got his wish.
Do you wanna
He
come
got
over
the-
here, cause the camera's right there?
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
I was just, I
Who's
thought-
Audrey on the phone?
Audrey is listening,
Okay.
yes,
Hi, Audrey.
but she can't chat, and she says the delay is
Okay.
like really funny. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it must be funny. I've only watched something once, I think, on YouTube, TV.
Taylor, did you finish the book?
Okay, let's get started, I mean officially, I guess, then.
I
I
have
know.
my book came with the questions in the back.
Oh.
We could go through those if you want, or what were these
So
that
these
you all
are the
created?
questions.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
actually
Or what your,
I was gonna say I didn't.
They
actually use
created,
them
marketing
before.
created these, which I think are great,
I
if
remember.
I would have actually read the entire book, but I only read
Oh, you
half.
haven't read it all?
I've only read half because I was telling Taylor
You
the
couldn't
book
deal with it?
was very stressful and I, you know,
None.
I feel like I like to have
It's so
like,
frustrating,
it's-
but
it's
have you gotten to
frustrating.
the cliffhanger
I'm,
yet?
So I'm at the part where she's with a cop, Detective Little.
Okay.
And so, I mean, so I'm on like,
Wait, like did you
Chapter
just
13.
meet him?
he just is carrying her home.
Oh,
Taking
okay.
her
There's
home.
that. Yeah, you haven't.
So I haven't hit that, but I want to know all the things. So tell me all the things
Okay.
because
I didn't finish
literally
yet either.
cannot get
no,
through the
but you
hump.
guys.
Oh,
okay, it's
Audrey's
okay.
on here chatting.
Oh, good.
Oh, she
I
logged
want-
into Google.
Yeah.
I want you
Who's
guys
the
to
other
tell
person?
us.
Can we
because-
tell? Is it Angie?
Only one is watching now.
Okay.
One person logged.
Someone dropped.
It also
Taylor.
could be me watching it from our page.
Taylor, when does it happen that the
Tell us.
major thing
It's
happens?
like towards the
Tell us.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to know.
Well, I mean, let's
That's what I
start
think.
with
You're
the
like, the
question.
major
I know,
No,
and
it's
it's just
kind
like,
of major. Were you
I
surprised?
I was shocked.
I was too.
Allie and I both were like,
Can you
huh?
tell us?
Well, let's start with the
That's why I
question. I don't
came.
want to just like
Okay.
drop
Okay, let's
it
start with the question.
and
Let's start with the question.
That's
Can we
why
just
I
read
came.
it?
I came because
Yeah.
I can't get through it.
I mean, we
Like,
don't
I'm
have
like
to
terrified.
do these, but
Like
Yeah.
she's a mental case, and I have a really like hard time putting myself in that world. Is like
Mhm.
gives
I know.
me stress.
You just want to be like,
do we need to talk
stop
about
drinking.
why?
Stop mixing your pills.
What's the first question? Sorry.
Oh,
this is
no,
what happens. See, this is what happens at book club.
No, we
You
didn't.
just start like.
I've never
interrupting
We
been.
each
did
other.
not have to be this formal. In fact, I don't even really love this
Tell
first
us the
question. But okay, in The Women in the Window, AJ Finn, is it male or female, by the way?
Ooh, no.
I think it might be too. I was,
The author.
yeah,
The
I
male.
don't actually know. But anyways, because on the back it just says
I thought you had a
Finn
picture.
lived. It doesn't use he, she, or
No, but
none of it.
In
Okay.
your book, he had a picture of himself.
Ew. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I keep
It's
getting
okay.
distracted.
It's okay.
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 You're
Oh,
right.
Audrey
It is a
said-
guy. He's actually quite good looking. Here.
Yeah, what
Let
does
me
Audrey
see.
say?
I'm with you
Oh.
on this, Catherine. I
Thank
want to
you.
know what happened, but I struggled and didn't finish it.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Is that
So-
Audrey?
Well, now that you guys are for spoilers,
Audrey,
don't.
thank you so much. That makes me feel so much
This
better.
is Audrey saying that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
In The Woman in the Window, AJ Finn draws much inspiration from classic cinema, especially the films of Alfred Hitchcock. Did any element of the writing or plot strike you as particularly cinematic? How does the presence of the films, whether in Anna's thoughts or on her television, help to shape the story?
Ooh.
I don't remember. What was she watching?
She
was
watched a
watching-
lot of
yeah.
old.
She watches
films.
old
She
movies.
watched old movies.
Remember,
I
she
couldn't-
has like a drawer full, like she opens the drawer at one point in the
Yeah.
study
Was it-
and like it's full
When she
of
saw the
movies.
murder, though, like that's when she had like just watched a movie like that day or that night.
Right. So when you
So
don't
I
know if
feel
it's
like
just she's just like
delusional. Is she
delusional, drunk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you guys wait? Have you read the part about like when it's flashback to like, you know,
The
the accident?
Mhm. I don't know what happened. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But you can tell me. Tell me what
Yeah,
happened.
don't
What?
stop.
I feel like the book reminded me of a movie in the sense like it was a slow build.
Because it's a flashback.
Yeah,
She's
And
flashing
then
back.
like it put me in mind of a horror movie of like a slow build, little stuff happened, and then like a big thing happened,
Mhm.
Right.
and then
How
it
was-
just spiraled out of control. I
No,
felt
but
like.
so what is
Yeah.
the big thing? The accident?
Yeah. Have you
Yes.
guys gotten to that
Well,
point?
yes and no.
I want to hear about the accident.
Well,
What happened? The accident.
Taylor, you read it more recently, so totally jump in. But you know how she's like divorced or whatever, and she's talking to her husband.
They're talking, like, it's
Yeah.
normal,
Yeah,
it's
he
on FaceTime.
calls her and checks on her,
I
because
know.
it's like, you
Well,
know,
wait, she
because
was
they,
told that one time she misses him, remember?
Mhm.
they have like that traumatic, they
Mhm.
had an accident.
Yeah.
Is it in the car?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're in the car, you haven't gotten there, so
No.
they're, like, so she's basically, she had an affair with
Yeah,
her.
she had an affair
With
with,
the-
her
with the doctor?
colleague.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
the
doctor.
guy,
The
brilliant.
doctor.
Yes.
I did not know that, but I could see that coming.
Yeah, okay, and then,
The husband.
so then, like, he finds out, and they're gonna
Yeah.
totally get a divorce.
Yeah,
Like,
and
they-
so then she decides in like a last ditch effort to save their marriage to go on like a ski trip.
This is the Vermont trip.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
decide to go there, but
Yeah.
they go.
Cause they referenced it a little bit,
They
like,
did.
yeah.
I've already heard a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember, because they were at the ice machine and like
Mhm.
they
Oh,
said that
yeah,
we,
so
so
they're
she
on-
was right there.
So they're on
They're
that
on the trip, and
in
and
the hotel.
Exactly.
and-
They decided to check out. There's a
Then-
big snowstorm.
I can't remember. I think like her husband was getting to the point of like, this isn't working. We need to tell our daughter that we're getting a
Right.
divorce.
Right.
Mhm.
So they do that. The daughter gets mad, and then the mom is like, "All right, well, let's just go home."
Mhm.
And the concierge is like, "Oh, but there's like a big snowstorm coming."
Exactly. They're like, if you're gonna go now.
Yeah. So
Was
they,
she driving or him? I
she
forget.
was driving,
She was.
and while they were driving, her phone rings, and it's the doctor she's
Yeah.
having an affair
Oh,
with. The husband tries to reach for the phone, and they kind of like get in a little argument, and she skids off the road and crashes the car. And then she awakens,
In the
pulling herself out of the car, and then trying to save her family. So,
And they're like, it's like a blizzard, so
Yeah.
it's like snow and
so it
freezing.
kind of flashes like back and forward to her recalling this as she's like, because she's chatting
She's
with
chatting
that old woman
with
in
Great-
the
Great-
Agora chat room.
Great and Lizzie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Great
that's
Liz-
how
Lizzie.
she's telling
Liz-
all
Oh, I
of
forgot
it.
about that.
Yeah,
twist,
that
too.
was sick. It was
But I
so
wanna know
sick.
what. So
Okay.
that's not who it really. There's no way that's who this is.
No, it's
No.
not an old lady. But
Yeah.
not an old lady at all. So she's chatting about that.
Oh, this is so
And
You guys, I can't
so
believe you did
she
it.
leaves it as chatting with that woman of, we were in this bad car accident. I
Yes.
pulled my husband and kid out. We were outside for like 2 to 3 days.
Oh my god.
And that's essentially why she's scared of going outside. Like that's how she
Mhm.
leaves it in the
She's
chat room.
traumatized. PTSD.
But then,
And then what happened?
so towards the end of the book,
I mean, it's at the end. I'm like,
Yeah.
did you just literally go,
yes, I verbally, like, I made an
Mhm.
audible sound.
Yeah.
So, towards the end, she's, like, just inserting herself in,
This-
like, Alistair and, like, that family, saying, like, that's not Jane, that's not Jane. And so, she finally, the police come to her place, and then, like, David from downstairs comes up.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of telling them, like, I think he had something to do with this. Like, she's just, like, searching for any,
Yes, like trying to
blame.
grasp at anything.
And so then it's the son, Alistair, David, and the 2 detectives. And the 2 detectives are like looking at her and they're like, you know, we didn't want to say this in front of everybody and we were kind of hoping like
Yeah.
maybe you'd come to the realization, but like you need to go to your doctor because your husband and child aren't alive, they're dead. They died in the car
Oh
accident
my god.
and she's been talking to their spirits in her head.
Oh my god, I just got goosebumps.
Yes.
yeah, like this whole time, like the whole
So
book.
I feel like
You
that was
think
pretty
that-
obvious from
Oh
the
no,
beginning.
I was
No,
I did
I
not
think it
see
was.
that coming.
Because you know she's mentally unstable, so like in my head I knew the whole time that she was totally like
Oh,
my God.
really?
changing their
I
decisions.
was shocked by
No,
that.
I was too.
You
I
guys,
I got that far.
I thought maybe like she was like
So what?
embellishing some of the conversations they might have had, but I did not think like they were both dead. So yeah, they were dead, and then
That's
How
what
does she
caused
react?
her to be so, I mean, she had so much guilt.
yeah, like she's kind of like, oh, I got caught. Like they all
Yeah,
now
did she
know.
like,
How did she react when they said that though?
She was just like stuck because she's never had somebody tell her to her face like your
That they're
family's dead. Like, and so she
do you
feels
think
like
she really, I
Did she
can't
bury
remember,
them?
did she really believe that, they were alive?
I don't.
Or do you think it was
she-
kind of like she was so much in denial about it, like she knew deep down they were?
Yeah, I think she knew deep down they were dead, but she like wanted to believe. Or I think like when she started like talking to them, it like progressively became more real of like, oh, they're still alive. But yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
family died. That's
Did-
why.
Yeah.
So So all those like FaceTimes and like conversations
It, like,
are,
didn't happen.
did not
All
happen.
of
They're all in her head. Like they would pop, and like her therapist was telling her, like, and this is like I think probably why she stopped seeing the therapist, because he was like, you need to stop talking to them. Like if they enter your mind, don't entertain it because it's just gonna like help.
Oh, God,
You're
that's
gonna
so
spiral even more.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so, but she would just get drunk and take too many
She'll-
pills, and
yeah,
then
it's just like spiraling.
and then she was like
out of control.
hallucinating, so it became like more and more
So
real.
question,
so
but did
sad.
she see, like, what did she see out the window? We didn't even talk about that. Like, we talked about her family, but like, what
Oh, in
did
terms
she see
of, like-
Jane get stabbed? Like, that actually happened?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I kind of forget this.
So
Oh my god,
She-
Taylor, I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
You're
So
telling
after
me
that, so after that, it's like, okay, her family is dead, and she's trying to like get her life together, and then she stops drinking and like kind of tries to get like regulated on her pills, and then someone, I believe, broke into her house, and then it gets to the point of she has like one more visit with like a teenage son, and the cat's like super weird around him, and she's like, oh, what happened to the cat's paw? And she's just like, oh, well, he got like glass or something on it. And then she proceeds to go to bed, and while she's sleeping, her daughter and husband come to her again and are trying to talk to her, and she's like, no, I can't do this, I need to, be on my healing. And then the daughter's like, how did he know about the cat? And then she like wakes up and she says it out loud, and then the son is in her room and is like, I knew about the cat because I have been coming to your house every evening and I hurt the cat. And then he like,
Why?
Because he's
because-
crazy.
he's nuts. And it turns out that Jane, who died, is his biological mother, and he was adopted by Alistair and the actual Jane. And so the
So-
biological mother had come to see him without the parents' permission.
Oh my gosh.
And saw, what was her name? Anna. Saw Anna like passed out basically, helped her
Helped
in.
her in.
And then Anna concluded like, oh, you're Jane. And then she's like,
But she's
yeah,
not.
that's me. I'm Jane. And they have this encounter, and then that's when she saw the earring at David's place, because she did go there. And then the next day she had like showed up to see the son, and the son was
He didn't
like,
have anything to do with her.
well, no, he did to some point, but he's nuts. And so he was like, essentially like, I'm tired of you talking. Stab. Just stab her.
So he did kill
He
her.
did.
Yeah,
kill
he killed the mom. and
His
then-
biological
Yeah, his
mom,
biological mom. Audrey's like, just go.
Was that you talking?
She's just like, she said, well, that's creepy over that. Yes, it was. Yeah, so he killed the biological mom basically because he, like, I think she like wouldn't tell him anything about her dad, like his dad, and so that like really frustrated him. And then Alistair tried to cover it up because he didn't want his son to like
Go to jail.
go to jail.
Yeah.
And then the son was like, I have a fascination with older women. Don't take offense to that, Anna, but then I got fascinated by you, and now you're getting too close, and I want to kill you. So
He tried to kill
yes,
her.
Yeah.
the entire like ending of the book is him like trying to kill her.
But he didn't succeed.
He did not. No, she like pushed him through the skylight. She like finally went outside.
It is like a movie.
Yeah,
It
You know
is
what I
kinda
mean?
like
You
a
can just
movie.
like
You can
see
see
all
this
the.
happen.
You can see the
It
house.
probably
you
will
can
be
see
a
it.
movie.
I know, it's really.
yeah.
Oh, I think it is. Soon to be a major motion picture.
Oh my
It
god!
says that on my
It
book.
would be a good.
It would
It
be
put
good.
me in mind a lot of like Girl on the Train.
Yeah.
Where like I was
Which I
like,
haven't read or seen.
well,
Oh, you haven't?
Really?
I feel like.
No! These
it-
books terrify me.
I'm-
Well, Girl on the Train will
I'm a
probably
huge
stress
fan
you
of
out
this
because she
genre.
was an alcoholic too. I feel like that's why this I was
I
like,
think that's why like I do
I
get
can
stressed out.
get behind it in the sense that like Girl on the Train stressed me out because I'm like, just stop drinking and like
Right.
you'll be fine.
Exactly.
And mind your
But
business.
it's so interesting because, like, I do think that, like, you know, if any of you three have ever before, Audrey, like, you know when you do drink and you kind of, like, have, like,
Mhm.
blurry,
Absolutely.
like, recollections of things, or, like,
Yeah.
you totally forget about something until someone
You're like, oh
tells
my
you.
gosh, I can't believe
So
that
if somebody
happened.
says,
Yeah.
well, so in Girl on the Train, it's, like, very similar.
like
Like,
that.
they're basically telling you, like, he was, like, well, I don't want to tell you in case you kind of read it,
That's
but he's,
fine.
like, basically
Nope.
telling her, like, this is what you did last night, and you embarrassed me, and, like, you know, all this stuff. So, like, she didn't know, like, she was an alcoholic, no
Yeah.
question. It wasn't like she wasn't
It's
really
like a
drinking.
blackout drunk
Yeah.
though.
But
That's
it's
different
like-
than like.
Like just blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Did you read Girl on the Train? Yeah. But so like he would tell her things and she just was like, oh, I guess that's what I did.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like
Were
so
they truthful
sad.
things? Was it actually things
No,
that
he
happened?
didn't. She actually didn't really do
She
some of
really
these
didn't.
things. She was just like passed out, like drunk or whatever. But like it is so sad because
Yeah.
the people that are on drugs and alcohol and things like that,
Medicine.
they are
Yeah, these pills.
like their realm of, you know, they're so vulnerable.
Well, that's why they tell you not to mix alcohol with prescription.
Yeah.
Oh, and also like the granny woman was actually the son. Like she was chatting with the son in
Oh,
the chat
that was
room.
yes.
And then she was able to, cause like
How
at
did
one
he?
point,
How did he? Know? That's kind of how he figured out
yeah,
that she was like so vulnerable and like he was like, you were so pathetic, like you thought
Yeah.
I was like some real person, like because the granny like had lost.
Granny Lizzie.
Mhm.
Yeah, had
Yeah.
lost like her husband.
Yeah, or
whatever.
something, and
Yeah.
then she had agoraphobia too, right?
Yeah.
And she couldn't leave the house, but then
Yeah.
he was like just playing along with it.
and like
He
So
must have known
sad.
her family
But
was
he-
really passed away.
cause the police came and like the whole thing, like the whole bomb dropped because she had gotten an email and it was a picture of her sleeping. And then she was like, how would somebody have gotten this? This was obviously taken in my room. And then they're like, oh, well, you probably sent it to yourself, or it's from a Gmail account, so we can't track it. But what had happened was like, since she was chatting with the son, the grandma was like, I need help with my passwords. I can never remember things. So she was like giving him all these tips that she uses. So he was
So
like,
he
I
did-
came in one night and like hacked into your computer and like did all this stuff and like stole your phone and
Oh, that's right.
took like the pictures and stuff.
Is
Yeah,
that
like
why
she
she
didn't
couldn't
remember
find her
any of it
phone?
because
Yeah.
she was
She couldn't
drunk
find
all
her
the time.
phone.
Because
Yeah,
he
that's
had
it.
it. And then
Oh my god. I'm so glad you told me because I would have never made it through it.
Yeah.
What other questions we have? What is
No,
after all that?
Yeah, now that we know what happened, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, Audrey said it's a struggle having a protagonist that is unreliable. The entire
I
world
agree.
that you are a part of, because of them, their world, you can't trust any of it.
I agree.
That's very
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true.
Okay.
Light read next time. Light read.
Yeah.
Girly
Consider
beach
the
read.
novel's epigraph, which is like the little quote that's at the beginning. You know, like before chapter 1, there's always
Oh,
like
yeah.
in books there's always like a
Oh,
quote
okay.
called an epigraph. It reads it here. Is a line from Alfred Hitchcock's Shadow of a Doubt. I have a feeling that inside of you somewhere there's something nobody knows about. Which characters in The Woman in the Window does this bring to mind? Would they be the speaker or the addressee?
I mean, I think it speaks to a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all like,
Yeah.
you know, the son.
Mhm.
Who's the addressee? Who would that be? Just any?
I mean, I guess it would be the son,
Yeah.
or even think like the dad too,
Mhm.
because I think when she was starting to figure out like
That he.
he was saying it in more of a tone of like stop digging please, like it was more like begging.
Oh, that's
Like
right.
I think, oh yeah, it would be the dad because the son had like done something like this at like his job in Boston.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's why they had to leave.
they moved, like, cause their son was like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Crazy.
a criminal.
So like the dad knew the son was like really sick, but he didn't do anything
protecting
about
him.
it. And then I think like the son, for whatever reason, was nuts. And then you know, obviously
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little crazy.
Unfair and.
Yeah.
It was like, I felt like when you found all that out, even that's so funny that you like totally knew. I had no idea. I was
No.
like, oh my god.
No, I don't think I would have guessed.
I was just, I mean, I do that in movies too. Like Jamie will be like, how did you not
How
see
did
that
see
coming?
that
And I'm like, I just like let myself just like, you
Well, because
know,
you
get,
take it for like what they say. Like,
yeah,
You
I
take it
just-
face
maybe I'm
value.
more,
You
like,
don't read
literal.
more.
Well, and I think in this, I was so focused on like the son did it. I'm like, the son's weird. Like finding out he was like behind all of it didn't shock me.
Yeah.
Finding out her kids had died.
Yeah.
Or, like, her family died.
Her family died.
I think because I was so focused on like this son is fishy.
There was
Like,
something
there's
weird
something
about
weird
him. Like he was
going on.
like trying to act all like nice. Yeah.
and like I knew she was weird, but I was like, okay, you're just weird, so I'm not focused on you. So then when that happened, I was like,
Oh.
I actually
you're
was
real weird.
frustrated with her, but I didn't feel like she was an unrealistic character. Like I thought it was like really sad. Like when you found out what had happened,
yeah,
I thought like, you know what? She is extremely depressed. She's an alcohol, you know, like,
Alcoholic.
and she's taking this
Pills.
medication and drinking.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that was like completely feasible. Like I think there's tons of people out there like
Who
that,
are
like
like
dealing
that.
with that kind of trauma.
Yeah.
Like imagine not only did her family die, but it was totally her
Guilt.
fault.
Yeah.
All that guilt, like she couldn't even like. No wonder she couldn't like barely go on. She couldn't even
Yeah.
deal with the day.
Yeah, I
You
was
know what I
having like
mean?
a hard time relating to her not being able to like leave her house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, but then if
Like,
you,
I'm,
now
like,
that you know,
frustrated.
like, why.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Like you,
totally
like,
makes sense.
like
Like,
it
all
made
this-
it all seem like it made
Yeah.
more sense
It
to me, like
does.
she seemed
I
like a
agree.
more realistic
I know.
character to
But
me
how did no one like
almost.
check on her? Like her, did she
Because
have
they were
like
dead.
family? No, but like her like mom or like dad or
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't get that far. Or
Well, and I also think like, cause yeah, I feel like after seeing that, it made it more, like I didn't think she was as crazy.
yeah.
Like I just felt like you're a person who's been through a lot and you're trying to deal with it,
Yeah.
but like not in the most.
Right,
healthy
she,
way.
like, she was like horrible at dealing with it, but she
Yeah.
wasn't like crazy, she
But-
was just,
But like I
Sick.
feel like she kind of, like she found ways to like escape and be productive, like
With-
productive in
with
her life by like
the
giving
chatting.
people therapy.
Yeah.
But like she can't take therapy herself, or like
Mhm.
she had like a physical therapist coming
Yeah.
to her,
Yeah.
but
That was real. That was for real. Like that.
Yeah,
actually
like her
happened.
physical
Her
therapist
physical
was-
therapist.
I forgot about that.
The
was
one
like
who,
there.
Once a week.
handled
Yeah.
her, or like.
Because like the
What
book-
was wrong
Did
with
you,
her?
didn't she
I
like beat her
forget.
up or something? I mean, like.
Well,
kind
I
of.
think it was
like.
it was from her car accident.
From the accident, she
Like,
was
she
still
was
like
really
physically, like it
injured.
was like her back or
Yeah.
whatever.
Because I think she was like laying on her back like when she woke
Oh,
up.
maybe that's what it is.
But like the book ends with like her physical therapist like walking her out on like her patio without an umbrella. And then she's like, I'm taking steps into the real world again. Seeing the sunlight.
Yeah,
Walking.
that was sad. I did, I thought it was sad.
I do too. That's why I can't even.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can't even imagine.
I have to like balance this with
If
a
you
happier
lost your
read.
family,
No, I would.
I mean-
I'd be in the net house.
I would too. I'd wanna kill myself.
I know.
Okay, go on, sorry.
In what ways does Anna Fox resemble the unreliable narrators of psychological thrillers you have read? Alternatively, what sets her apart? Well, we've already drawn parallels between like that and Girl on the Train. You already
Yeah.
talked about that. Yeah.
I think the fact that she like hallucinates too. Cause I thought like her and David, I was like, oh, this didn't happen. Like I was like, I feel like she hallucinated this. And I was
Yeah.
talking to Allie about it and she was like, really? I thought it was real. And I was like, up until the point where she woke up and he was like in her kitchen, I was like, she did not just sleep with him. Like that, she made
Oh,
that
she
up.
slept with David.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the guy that was downstairs.
Yeah.
That's
And
tenant.
it's like the lead up, yeah, cause how it happens is it's
I
like,
forgot things.
it's kind of like very abrupt and I was like, oh, and she was like drunk and
Yeah.
had taken all the pills, so I was like, she made that up. Like, there's no way that happened.
But
And
that
then-
really was true.
Yeah, and
He
then that
was
did
kind of
happen,
like-
and I was like, oh, okay. Well, and so that was the thing, I feel like there were things in the book that I'm like, I don't know if this is real or not. Because
Yeah.
like, she's so vividly.
But did you only question it after you knew
Who
she
that's a good
was,
question.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, were you questioning those things when,
I
before
questioned
Like
the-
it,
you.
Right.
What happened to her.
I honestly questioned it from like, when the woman was stabbed. Like, that was like,
That's when she.
like that was kind of like, cause I was like, okay, well, obviously she has like a problem with prescription pills, like she
Exactly.
drinks a lot. And then when she was like on the new cocktail and it was like, don't mix this with alcohol, like you could hallucinate. And then it's like the
Oh.
woman gets stabbed and I'm like, okay. I'm like, maybe she didn't see it, or maybe she didn't see it the way she thought she saw
Right.
it. But
So that's when you were questioning.
yeah, that's when I was a
agree.
little like, I don't know.
What's
What
real?
like what you saw,
Yeah,
or
it
what
was
you
the
didn't
whole
see.
book, yeah, like,
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
whole story of hallucination, which
Just
would
in her
make
head.
you believe, you know, like you said, you knew all along that like the family was dead.
Like I feel really dumb
I
now.
know.
I was like totally shocked.
well, I
would
just don't think
never
it's
guess that.
believable that like,
That she would talk to her husband every day. And
yes,
stuff like
and that they would have this seemingly
Like normal relationship.
amicable relationship,
Yes.
right? But he had just walked out on her when she's clearly mentally ill, and just that. Yeah, I mean, it was.
that. I think it was like
I don't know.
when you knew that she had an affair and all that, and it was like it wasn't like super amicable conversations. He was just checking on her because it was the mother of
Right.
his child. I mean, I could like think of
I know.
you know
me
why
too.
he would
Same,
still.
still
Yeah.
worried about
And
her.
Allie had posed this. Because I remember when it got to the point of like her phone ringing, and I was like, oh, she had an affair. And Allie's like, really? You think it's an affair? I didn't get that. Allie thought it was she had like a child patient who she like gave her number to, and like couldn't
Needed her-
separate the boundary
I
of
could see that.
like.
Needed her help.
Mhm.
Yeah, so she was like, I don't think it's an affair. She was like, I think it's that she's gotten like
Former
in too
patient.
deep with
With
a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, like I
That's
didn't
a-
read it that way. So then that kind of changed my perspective on like her and her husband's relationship prior to me knowing that he was dead. Still rattled me.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy.
Okay, it says, Anna says of psychologists, and this is in quotes, we're interpreters, we're translators. Does her profession inform her understanding of others, of her own addictions and phobias, and of the events of the novel? I think it does.
Yeah. And I think it makes it more complicated because I think
It
she
does.
knows that she's
Yeah,
like,
that's the whole
has a
point.
problem.
Right,
Mhm.
but she still can't
Can't
separate
get out of
herself, right? Yeah.
It does seem sort of interesting that people that are like psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, like sometimes struggle with things
Their
even
own-
more,
their own,
you
yeah.
know.
I think there's a reason why they became that.
Yes,
though. I
right,
mean,
it's probably like that's there before they become like a counselor,
Yeah.
it's like they think,
yeah,
They're
I don't
inside
know.
their own head almost.
right,
right.
But I think a lot of times those people have their own like therapists or counselors,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they
Almost
also
always.
ask,
Almost
right?
So I'm like, I don't know how you could listen to
I don't-
all of that.
Like it's just like heavy,
Take it
like
home.
burden. It's a burden for sure.
What was your reaction when you learned the truth about Anna's husband and daughter? Did you see any signs that this was the case? We've kind of already
yeah.
talked about
No,
this.
I-
Some people did, some people didn't.
Sorry, you're the only one. You're the minority.
There's no way I'm the only one.
No.
There's no way. I mean, you knew she was crazy.
I
It had to
definitely
be
knew
like
she
a
was
twist
crazy.
like that, yeah. Okay. How did your opinion of Alistair Russell change as the novel progressed? What about your opinion of Ethan?
Ethan's the son, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Alistair's the dad.
Well, obviously you think it's like it twists, it
Yeah.
changes, cause you obviously, cause
Right. You think
Ethan's this
he's-
nice little boy,
Yeah.
or nice young man
Nice
that's
young
like giving
man.
her like company and all this, and then you find out he's freaking crazy.
And you
same,
think-
and Alistair you think is like this horrible person.
Right, 'cause
You think
remember
he's
the
the one who
initial
killed him?
scene?
Yeah, you think he's
Yes.
I
this-
think he killed
It was
James.
the initial scene of
Yeah.
the, like early on, when she was looking at them through the window and she thought,
Yeah.
she heard a scream, right? Or what
Yeah,
was
she
she?
heard the
Yeah.
scream
Right.
and
She
like
had her
Ethan
camera.
comes
And
running
she could
over.
see
Yeah.
Alistair and Ethan, but couldn't see yes.
Yeah.
And then, cause I think like, I mean, I thought like, oh, he might be abusive, like
That's-
the
I
dad.
totally thought that.
Like I was like, I
Yeah.
think the dad's probably abusive, but then, like, I thought he was truly abusive for like the bulk of the book, really until like the ending, and then I kind of was like thinking about it from the lens of, although I don't agree with how he went about it, I also like get that he's a parent and like you do what you
You
do to
protect your
protect your
kids.
child, like
Yeah,
whether
so
they're kind
true.
of like right, wrong, or
Well,
whatever.
Ethan was so crazy. He made
Yeah.
it seem like, oh my god, I'm afraid of my.
Yeah.
Remember?
What did
Didn't
he
he
say?
like? Didn't he used to like say things to her like,
Yeah.
like
He's a
being
master
afraid of his
manipulator.
Mhm.
dad and all that? Yeah, I mean, he like
Yeah.
he led her to like
To
think that
that.
it was the dad.
Yeah.
that killed. You know, he knew she saw something.
But
'cause-
she should be able to see through that, but
I
of
know,
course,
I
we're not
think
dealing with someone who's in the
Who's
right
there,
state of
then I
mind,
also-
so therefore it's hard to say.
I
which
think
is-
that goes to like the last question where it was like they're like a translator or interpreter.
Yeah.
Like I think she, especially her being like a child
Right,
psychologist, I think she
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I'm gonna believe this kid because I've seen so many abused
Right.
kids. Like
yeah.
I
Mhm.
can
Just
see
take
that
it at
he's
face
nervous or lying, and then yeah, I don't think she was in her right frame of mind to
Yeah,
say like
right.
yeah,
maybe like
That he was-
maybe this kid is sick.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
How old was he? I forget. Like
I think he was, like,
16 or.
17.
He was like
Yeah.
teen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, older
Enough to
teenager.
do better.
Let's see, what did you think of the author's portrayal of agoraphobia, depression, and
Oh, God.
addiction? How did it feel to see the world from Anna's perspective?
I think that was the most frustrating thing for me. I think that's why I can't get through it because it's just like it's terrifying to know that someone cannot leave their house. They can't.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was, it was a subject on like the most recent episode of Grey's Anatomy, there was an
Was it?
agoraphobic person.
Hmm.
Yes, and they like needed a blood donation from that person, and
They-
that person couldn't like
Get in.
get there, cause like
couldn't
they're an
get
agoraphobic, like, it was, and of course you know Grey's Anatomy draws everything out to like the
Right.
nth degree, but
So
it's kind of funny how like I've like
you draw
two,
those parallels.
yeah, I'm like, oh, here we
Well,
are
I
again
think
with
it's like,
agoraphobia.
you can't imagine ever getting to that point, but
Right.
like, I think if you see something, like you see someone that gets like a progression of it, like, so like, here's like an example of something that I've not lived through, but my niece, she's 23 years old now, she's totally 100% fine, but when she was little, she was really, really scared of dogs. like ridiculously scared. Like she had like a phobia about it. It started to become like a phobia. I mean, she's little. Like I'm talking like, I don't know how old she was. Like 4, 5, you know what I mean? So then it started to become like, well, I can't go to that person's house. They have a dog.
Because they have
I
a
can't go to the park. I can't go.
Oh, that
It's
poor
like
baby.
you don't realize there are dogs everywhere.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? And so she started to get this fear of it's not like every single dog she is gonna come running up to her and jump and all
But
that.
she-
But like she was so
She would
petrified
psych
of
herself
dogs,
up.
she couldn't even like
Yeah.
it started to become like agoraphobia. You know what I mean? Like a little 4-year-old little girl not wanting to like leave the house.
How did she get out of that?
Well, they took her to like have therapy.
Yeah.
It was at Ohio State. It was like called like I forget what kind of therapy it's called, but
Like a behavioral.
like kind of like a behavioral
Yeah.
where it's like they immerse you like 100% with it. It's like, you know, like with whatever your fear is. Like they had this dog, like
to like
this,
let you know that it's
yes,
it's
so there was a
okay.
dog there that was like part of the therapy. And you would brush his teeth. I mean, it was like he was like a golden retriever or something like that, like a big dog, but
Dog.
the sweetest, most gentle. He was like a therapy dog.
Yeah.
So whatever. Anyway, I was just gonna say like, imagine how that could like escalate
Yeah.
once somebody is, you know, if they're
It's like a vicious cycle.
yeah, if there's ill and then yeah, like the more they, you know, anytime
Think
you
about
fear
it.
something and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna do that, and then it gets even bigger when you put something off or you,
Right.
whatever, I don't know. But isn't that crazy? I mean, like,
Crazy.
Yeah.
because she just was afraid of that one thing and it started to like snowball.
Yeah.
Will she ever
You
have a
know.
dog?
What'd you say?
Will she ever have a
They
dog?
have a dog now.
They do?
Jason, Betsy have a dog, yeah. It's a huge dog too. Well, I mean, she
That's
loves dogs
Armand,
now.
right?
Yeah, Armand, yeah. I mean, she's like totally
She's
like
fine.
fearless girl about like so many things. I'm like,
It's so crazy.
she used to be so afraid of so many things when
Poor
she was
baby.
little. Like it's just funny,
Yeah.
like, you know.
But kudos to her parents for addressing it and
Yeah.
not letting
Yeah.
it,
and not
like,
letting it rule their life.
Well, yeah, you can't like yeah, you could just say, alright, I'm never gonna like every time you go somewhere you say, you gotta put your dog away. And you know, you
Yeah.
can't
You
do
can't
that.
do that.
Everywhere you like
right?
you can't do that to like it just makes it worse,
You can't
you
let
know,
someone
and you have to like
Yeah.
you know, confront it head on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But agoraphobia would be such a sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was one thing, like, I feel like her being like an alcoholic or like struggling with substance abuse, like that to me was like easier to wrap my head around because I'm like, like
'Cause
it's
you would
more
drink to
common,
forget.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could see how that could happen, but then, yeah, I think her being in the confines of her own home, or like Allie and I were talking about it, we're like, it's so much like layered on top, because I would think like if I'm in my own home, at least I would want my home to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I would want
Like it to be like a nice.
but it's like her home was dirty and like she just had like stuff everywhere, and I'm like, see, it would be things like that where I think that was like the level of depressed she was at, and like then not being able to like leave her own home, and like when she was walking down the street in her bathrobe and like
Yeah.
the umbrella, I felt so uncomfortable for her because I'm like, I can't wrap my head around
That.
being that, like, to that point of not
She
being
remember
able
she
to
didn't
function.
shower, she didn't like, yeah, she
Yeah.
was just like a mess.
Like,
wasn't she? I mean,
yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
because I feel like I said, it would be one thing if it was like, oh, you just can't like go outside, but then it's like, you're a mess, your home's a mess, like
Like you're
everything's like overgrown, and like that just
Oh,
like
yeah, the garden.
made it even worse for me
you
because
know who?
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, you know who's a like that really famous author? I think is has agoraphobia. I think. Don't quote me
Like
on
a
this,
James
but I feel like I
Patterson,
read
or-
this. No, Laura Hildebrand. She wrote like.
Oh, I definitely know the name.
You know, she
Or is there
wrote-
a hint? No.
There's Elin Hildebrand. That's my
Isn't her
favorite
name
author.
Laura?
I don't know.
Hildebrand?
I think there is.
I think there's a couple.
You know that what's
There's a
the
couple of
book
brands.
that Angelina Jolie directed it? It's about the guy that was a runner in the World War II and he was a prisoner of war in Japan.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, at least the movie.
What was the name of that book? Movie? Yeah, it became a movie.
I typed in Hildebrand as
And
the author that I like. So is that her name?
What's the first name?
What's but it's not.
Oh,
Elam writes about Nantucket.
I don't know why I thought her name was Laura Hildebrand.
Laura, L-A-U-R.
Oh,
Just
what's the
thinking
name of that book?
Hildebrand.
Angelina Jolie. We need to Google it. I think that author is an agoraphobe.
Hillenbrand.
Hillenbrand.
Laura Hillenbrand.
Yeah. Does it
I
say?
definitely know.
Hildebrand. No, maybe it is Hildebrand.
What's the name of
Definitely
that
know
one?
it.
Brand.
Laura Hillenbrand?
Yeah.
Hildebrand. Maybe it is Hildebrand.
Oh, it's
Unbroken.
Hillenbrand.
Unbroken, is that the?
Yeah, Unbroken.
Okay.
Thank you.
She also wrote
Seabiscuit, maybe?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, Seabiscuit. I mean, she's a very, very famous
And
author.
she has it?
So when
Let's look at
she
her
did
book.
all the, like that Unbroken is a true story, and it's based, you know, on like she did interviews with this guy that he was a survivor, and
Of like the Holocaust?
he was like,
Was it a Holocaust?
it wasn't Holocaust,
No.
he was in the army, but he was like, they got like shot down, and so they were on this like, you know, I don't know, he was out in the middle of the ocean for I forget how many weeks, and then survived that, and then they were like captured as prisoners of war.
Oh my
He was in-
gosh.
He was in Japan, and then he ended up like living a pretty long life. I mean, he went to like, he was recognized in when Japan was in the Olympics, or hosting the Olympics, and I forget if it was Tokyo or where, he like, what's that guy's name?
It's funny, she went to Kenyon.
Yeah, but did you see she didn't
She was
graduate?
forced to leave
So
graduation.
she
with
actually
chronic
has something
fatigue.
called chronic fatigue syndrome.
Which I feel like that's
And
like.
that made her not leave her house. And so it would very much
Is that what it
mirror-
says?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would very
And
much
that's
mirror that.
why.
And you know what's interesting?
Oh my God, I
Um,
love that. Is this how book club works? Like,
Yeah,
just
Yes,
get
you get totally off the tangents, and imagine
her-
adding wine to it.
Her
This
mother
would be
was
a
a
special
child.
book
Listen to this. Her mother was a child psychologist.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
See,
Isn't that
it's-
weird? Like,
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean? Like this.
And she's obviously like a genius. I mean,
Clearly.
this amazing writer.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so like, but the reason I don't even remember, I just think all those interviews were done with him. Like, it's a long book, that book Unbroken, and I remember reading something about her being an agoraphobe. Like, she doesn't leave her house, so she's never even met him in person. Like, every interview she did was like over the phone or like maybe, you know, Skype or whatever. You guys, it's a good book. You guys should see that movie too. It's really good.
What, Unbroken?
Unbroken. Have you ever?
I think
read it?
I
Sarah?
have actually.
Oh my god, it's fascinating.
And that's who
I think
Angelina
that-
Jolie.
He's a
She was the
2014
director.
American war film. Oh, sorry. Or Hillenbrand. It is Hillenbrand. Louis Zamperini, who survived in Iraq for 47 days after his
Oh my
bomber
gosh.
crash landed in the ocean during the Second World War, then was sent to a series of prisoner of war camps. So he was literally like on the, like in the middle
Of
of
the
like,
ocean.
the ocean for 47 days.
And then he was
and
captured.
survived.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
and then he was captured. And then he survived that, and he came home from the war, and he was an alcoholic and had, you
I'm
know,
sure he had so many issues.
he had so many issues. Louis Zamperini was like, he was a really good runner, like in real life. He was like in, I don't know if he ever made it to the Olympics, but I feel like he might have, that's what, one of the reasons, like, so when he went to Japan, like he had never been back since he'd been a prisoner, and then he like lit the torch, you know, he's one of the people that lit
Yeah.
the torch at the Olympics,
Oh,
and like an
wow.
old guy, so
So
sweet.
sweet.
And he was like running through like the streets, and all these Japanese people were like
Cheering
cheering
him
because
on.
it was
Yeah.
like this, like he forgave all these
Yeah.
people, like he didn't like hold a grudge against like the country and the people and stuff like that.
That's crazy. It
Good, they
sounds
showed
great.
at the end of the movie, they show like the real footage from that. Anyway. It's good, yes. Well, anyway, I'm surprised, where is everybody?
I
This
don't
is
know.
too bad, but that's okay. I just feel bad all that food, we'll have to help carry it up.
Somebody will eat it upstairs.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, she said she have a cart down here. We can
Yeah.
probably in her new
Probably
kitchen. I
will.
need to check out this new kitchen.
I mean, did you guys like the book?
I did. I mean, I'm
I
not
mean,
done.
I
I
started-
have like the
Yeah.
teensiest bit to finish.
I'm still gonna finish,
Oh, you are?
but yeah.
Now that
I mean,
you know, you're
But
not
I just
gonna be
like,
I
it's
literally
hard
have,
because
like-
I just like,
Oh, you're almost done.
I literally am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
did you find it when when you,
40-ish pages.
so when you found out the family's dead, you've already found that out? And-
I just assumed it from the
But,
beginning.
but I mean,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but I just assumed it. I don't know why. Maybe I,
Well, I think it
maybe I.
it's so funny.
You're
that you do
intuitive.
that. You
Yeah,
must
and I
be.
think it was like you said, it was super fishy. So like, cause like I had a hard time. I just felt like something was wrong.
yeah.
I couldn't figure out what, but then like
Yeah.
I said, I think the book, at least for me, did a good job of
But
like
that's the point,
deflecting
right?
my attention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the point.
So like I
Yeah.
was looking
Yeah.
so at like
the wrong things to see
Yeah,
what was wrong.
Like I was just like,
Like
oh,
the
yeah.
guy that lives, they keep trying to make you like suspicious
Yeah.
of the renter in the basement, the tenant
Yeah.
or whatever. You keep like thinking, what's
Yeah.
Like,
or
what's
the
up
woman
with
that
him?
came to the house.
Yeah,
and
they
like, you're
definitely
like,
throw a
what's
lot
her
of people
deal?
in
Like,
there.
you know, what'd you say?
They threw a lot of people in there, the egging of the house, like it's just
that
like
was
all these
random.
things are like throwing me off.
And I think that was like the hard thing for me, cause like I love like thriller suspense novels, and I think that's why I'm like, this was the first one since Gone Girl that kind of like had me a little like stressed out, because there were so many things that
Twisties.
happened
Yeah.
for her to live in her, like to not leave her home. I'm like, you sit here all day and all of this shit is just happening to you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy, cause I'm like, and it happens in the
Yeah.
span of like 2 months, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not that much happens
You're
to me
right.
in 2 months.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Each
Yeah.
Something's
chapter
gotta be,
is
yeah,
not
you're
quite
like,
the
something's
same.
not
yeah,
right.
like I'm like, I don't know how, that's why I thought she was making a lot of it up, cause I'm like, in the normal 2 months of a human being, and like I leave my house frequently,
Not all of a sudden.
like barely
Yeah.
anything happens.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's
like,
no
I did
normal.
yeah.
Yeah, in
There's
these
no
types
normal
of books.
after a, yeah.
I did
After
sort of think
trauma.
like,
Yeah,
say, like
that's true.
there were times I thought this whole thing could be totally in her imagination. She's gonna wake up and, you know what I mean? But I still
Yeah.
thought that there was things that were real. Like I was just like, no, that would be too.
What should we read next time, you guys? I don't know, do you wanna say, we should send out a survey
I
again, or
have
should we?
some books that I've written down that I'm
Oh, yeah,
wanting
tell
to-
us.
I always have a list. Yeah, I wonder what, if yours
tell
or
us
any of
I
mine.
know. Let's
Tell
see
us
if we
your
have any of
list. To get some ideas.
I haven't seen, what has Reese picked lately? Reese Witherspoon?
So she had Daisy Jones and the Six, which I just picked
the.
up.
Oh
That was
wait,
a
someone
couple
just told me that's really good.
months- But I haven't read it yet. So I have it on my dresser
Okay, it's
at
called
home.
Daisy Jones.
Daisy Jones and the Six.
Okay, I want
It's
to read
about
it.
like a girl in the 60s and then this like group and they kind of come together. So that's one. I think that was maybe a couple months ago.
Have you guys ever heard of that book, Life
Okay.
After Life?
No.
Life After Life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of her picks?
I don't know. I've never read it. I think our book club read it and I didn't read it that month or something. Empty Mansions, that's a biography. Where's my, wait a minute. Sorry, hold on.
There's something
Books,
she's
here we are.
posted about called The Night Tiger, and I don't remember.
From
what it is.
scratch.
Here we go.
From scratch?
Is he
Oh,
that-
I really want to read that Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. That's a biography.
Yes.
It's like, or it's a nonfiction.
yeah, it's either a biography or
Auto-
memoir.
auto-
Didn't
a
Becky
memoir.
just read that?
Yeah.
What?
Didn't Becky just read that?
Yes, I think she did. Or
And-
no,
and you know,
what?
there's a,
Allie read it in her book club, but she didn't read it. So I was like, can I borrow it? But I don't know if
There's
she
a
ever got
kids
it.
version of that one too. Like, you know how, which I think is so cute, like a youth version
Oh,
of
really?
that book.
So
yeah.
I didn't really
Oh, that's
understand what it
cute.
meant,
Yeah,
but I
right?
saw
I
like
mean,
a little
probably
clip on
middle
Ellen.
grade,
Yeah.
not like,
So
not
like,
like
and then I looked them up. So
obviously,
born a
but-
crime means
Yeah,
it
this
used
is
to
the
be
one
like
I
his
just got,
parents
or
are
picked up.
biracial.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
a biracial.
I don't know.
His dad was white and his mom was black, or vice versa. I can't remember. Have you guys read The Last Romantics? I read that
No, is that good?
by Tara Conklin.
I'm pretty sure I read that, The Last Romantic.
Yeah,
Just want
it
an
was-
easy read, you guys. Something I can take to the
Conversations with
beach.
Friends by Sally Rooney. I don't know.
But is that fiction to you?
Yeah, that's fiction.
What's Small Admissions? Has anyone ever read
Night
that?
Tiger.
Have you heard of
No.
that, Sarah?
Is this your list, Mary Noel? or
This
you-
is just, yeah, like books that I want to read. Conversations with Friends. I did read The Last Romantic, so I can take that off my list. It was good. That was a Reese Witherspoon book. Or no, Jenna.
Oh, Jenna
Bush.
Hager, Bush,
Yeah.
Bush Hager.
Oh,
whatever it
yeah,
is.
she has a new book club.
Yeah, that's,
Is that what you guys are talking
yeah,
about?
that was where I got that, The Last Romantics
Oh,
from.
okay.
Nobody in our book club, like, loved it, though.
Oh, that's, well, then I don't want to read that.
You know, like, Jodi Picoult? Do you guys like her?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I
She-
like some of her stuff.
She
I-
just had that one. What was it? I don't know. It's got like a bunch of colors on it.
I can picture it.
She,
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember what her most recent book is, but
There
she
she
always
is.
like takes something controversial, like
Yeah.
in like real, like you know, like it would be like something right now, like would be like, I don't know, like the
Oh, here it is. A
cops,
spark of light.
crime, like something like that,
Yeah.
Let me see what it looks
like
like.
violence
You know,
against
yeah.
black people and cops and stuff like that. Like she would take something like that's very current and like make it into like a story where it's like, you know, like real, like
Yeah.
kind of like. Have you guys ever read that one? Big, little, shit. It's a Jodi Picoult book, but it's really good. Our
Little
book club's
Lies.
reading it right now. And I'm
No,
Oh,
that's
that,
No,
no, that,
Big
that's
Little
Lies.
Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
By the way, that's season 2. too.
Is
It's
coming
out
to
on
I heard
HBO.
that. I need to read
We
it.
could have
So
her watch
I don't
it.
I don't know though how
I
it's gonna have a season
I've read
two,
the
because I mean, it
book.
ended the way the
Yeah,
book
I know.
ended, so
I know.
clearly they've just like taken it and ran with it. Which one are you talking about?
Small
Great
little,
Things.
small great things.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you read that?
Ooh, yeah.
I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to
Yeah.
talk about too.
I was gonna
It's-
say,
but it's
there
pretty
is.
heavy. It's like,
The 50 Shades
Yeah.
author just came out with the new
oh
book.
my
I
God.
saw that.
Can you imagine?
I saw
No, but
that.
What is the
definitely-
Dawson Book Club
I'm
read?
definitely gonna read that
The
on my
Mister
own.
Big little,
I'm just
or small
telling you.
great things. Thank you. That's right. I couldn't think, our book club's reading it, but I've already read it, so I was like happy about that because I'm like, I'm so behind on book. I need to get a book. What do I do?
Yeah, well, we'll have to put a quick little survey together. I'll do it. I mean,
Small.
Mary Noel, if you
There was
have
a book
any
that we
strong
rejected last time because it was too chick lit-ish for you,
Oh, I did-
remember?
I need
It was in
whatever
the Devil
that
Wears
is.
Prada one?
Oh, but I already read that. When Life Gives You Lululemon.
Yeah, I
So
remember
it's
someone
good.
suggested
It's good.
that.
It's Val, and she's no longer here, so she doesn't get that vote.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. You gone.
You gone.
She gone. She gone.
She gone. I don't know. We'll have to definitely. Sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna.
All right, you guys.
so
Thanks for
I'm-
coming. We'll figure this out, but I'll put together a little list.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
And I
being
definitely
our
wanna try to
support.
read, like, have not read it.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Becky's reading that one Nancy suggested last time, the Nightingale. She says,
Oh, that's
Kristen
supposed to be
Hannah.
She says it's so
amazing.
good.
Kristen Hannah,
She
right?
says it's so good.
I read that one.
Kristen Hannah.
Isn't that the Nightingale?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
Wait,
who.
I've read, I think Kristen Hannah, maybe you're right. I need
Did
to
you
know
read it,
this.
Mary?
No, I've
Kristen.
heard it's
I'm
amazing.
sure that she wrote the Nightingale. Oh no, that's the Great. Oh yeah, she wrote the Great Alone and the Nightingale. These are both very popular.
Are they?
books.
Did you guys read The Great Alone?
No.
I read it.
Oh my god,
That
it's
was one of
so
the lists.
good.
I
That was
think
on the
that was
list.
on
It was definitely on the
The
list.
night